Are you a germaphobe? What is a germaphobe? Worries about contamination by germs and catching infectious diseases are common in our society. You need to look no further than the presence of hand sanitizer dispensers in public spaces or the barrage of advertisements for antibacterial products to realize that our society is, to some extent, preoccupied with germs. However, if you are a germaphobe, you know that many places and situations can be anxiety-provoking and may even make you want to avoid places where you are likely to encounter contamination or germs. It's important to note that an obsession with cleanliness, contamination, and germs is also a common OCD symptom. Germaphobia or mysophobia is a term used to describe pathological fear of contact with dirt to avoid contamination and germs. We all have fears, but phobias tend to be viewed as unreasonable or excessive compared to standard fears. The distress and anxiety caused by a germ phobia are out of proportion to the damage that germs are likely to cause. Someone who has germophobia might go to extreme lengths to avoid contamination. Sometimes a fear of germs can lead to obsessive-compulsive disorder. Before it reaches that point, try to recognize different things a germaphobe might do. And take action if one has led you to an unhealthy obsession. Here are 3 signs of a germophobic personality and how to overcome those fears of germs. Number 1. Overwashing. One of the most common symptoms of mysophobia is frequent hand washing. Also a common symptom of OCD. Studies have shown that antibacterial soap doesn't provide additional protection against disease, and some suggest it could do more harm than good. While antibacterial soap is used in healthcare settings, regular hand soap and warm water is recommended for everyday use to remove both bacteria and viruses. However, the motivation for hand washing is different. People with compulsive hand washing perform excessive and repetitive washing of their hands in an attempt to relieve severe distress associated with obsessive and irrational fears of contamination. Repeated hand washing often causes marked skin changes of the hands or exacerbates pre-existing skin conditions. Compulsive hand washing is often a debilitating psychodermatological condition that interferes with the patient's activities of daily living and quality of life. Psychological therapies are based on cognitive behavioral therapy, with exposure and response prevention. People who overwash should work with a therapist to acknowledge their condition and face their fears and obsessive thoughts or feelings. Number 2. Avoiding potential germ-filled places. Avoiding gas stations, grocery stores, restaurants and other places where large groups pass through daily is a constant fear for a germaphobe. Although it can sound safe to avoid these places, it can also be debilitating and hold someone back from basic human interaction with the community and neighbors. Staying confined to one place and not participating in normal society leads to isolation and breaks long-term connections with others. A simple recommendation is to get out at least once a week to manage daily tasks and realize that we do need some germs in our life to create antibodies that fight illness and disease. If you are struggling with leaving your home for germ-related fears, talk to someone about it. Or do some research online or read a book about germophobia and isolation. Number 3. Not visiting others. When you stop seeing your friends and family, except during a pandemic, to avoid germs or an overwhelming fear of getting ill, it is a problem and needs to be addressed. Germs are everywhere and life must go on. A person's life can become controlled by their stress and anxiety related to their fear of germs. They worry about sitting, eating, and touching any surface. It can even extend to a fear of touching other people or cause panic when somebody gets too close. As one of the most disabling fears out there, mysophobia can make it virtually impossible to live a normal life. When times allow, shaking hands and a warm hug can ultimately change someone's mood, so it is essential to have occasional physical contact with others. Working with an obsessive-compulsive therapist will help eliminate fears and anxiety brought on being around other people. However, the best way to avoid becoming a germaphobe is to acknowledge that all germs are not bad. Some are essential and are the very thing we need in our diet. Gathering information about germs and their advantages and disadvantages will ease anxiety related to them. The most successful treatments for phobias are exposure therapy and cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. Exposure therapy or desensitization involves gradual exposure to germophobic triggers. The basis of CBT is gradual exposure to feared situations and anxiety management strategies such as relaxation and breathing techniques. It's possible, experts say, that being too clean can change the bacteria that live inside us, making us more susceptible to allergies, asthma and other immune-related conditions. Researchers believe that overusing hand sanitizer could cause children to lose their ability to build up resistance to bacteria. So basic germs are just a part of life. Understanding which ones to avoid and where will help anyone with a fear of them and stop them from being scared in their own environment. There are many sources available to guide you for living a germophobic-free lifestyle, and I will list a few books down below. If you suffer from a fear of germs, let us know which ones down in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, like and share it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.